What's really holding you back? Stay tuned. Hey, this is Damon Carr from NLP Gym, bringing you cutting-edge Neuro Linguistic Programming tools and technology to help you create the life that you desire. So if that sounds good to you, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Ever feel like you're not getting what you deserve? Or do you ever feel like other people are getting the things that you want without working as hard as you're working, or without having to put in the effort and the sacrifice that you're putting in? If that's true, this is a good clue. This is a good clue to recognize this may be what's sabotaging you. It may be what's limiting you. So this is really important to take a look at, and that's what I'm going to do here in this video. I'm on a boat in beautiful Ha Long Bay in Vietnam, where I'm shooting this video, which is a lot of fun. What I find though, that a lot of times what's holding people back is this concept, these ideas of deservingness, both for themselves and for other people, and how this can cultivate resentment. Resentment is a huge reason why people do not fulfill their potential, why people are holding themselves back. So how does that all work? What does it all mean? How can you stop resenting? Or what is it you're resenting actually? So let's back up a little bit. When you're growing up, you're taught all these rules and ways of whatever social game you're playing. And this comes from your parents, your teachers. They teach you what's fair, what's not fair, what you deserve, what you don't deserve, what other people deserve and don't deserve. And so you learn all these things. And sometimes these are really good things to learn. Sometimes they're important. Sometimes, they're teaching you the importance of working hard and focusing on what it is you want and creating that and feeling a sense of deserving it. And so when you feel like you deserve something, you're more likely to hold on to it and keep it. So if you are successful and you feel like you deserve that success, you're more likely to keep that success. If you feel like you don't deserve it, you're going to find a way to get rid of it. From place to place, that can change. If you grew up in the south of the US, you might go to New York and realize there's a whole new set of rules there when it comes to playing the money game, the business game, the entrepreneur game, or just life in general, or climbing the corporate ladder. So not only is it different from place to place, it's also different from generation to generation. These things change rapidly, especially in our time where technology is affecting our lives rapidly, how we spend money, how we do business. So we have to allow these things to change. We have to be adaptable to these things. What happens for a lot of people though, is they bear down on a certain way of doing things. They bear down on the rules and the ways that they were taught. And they think this is the way, because though this is the way that I was taught, it must be right. And they're not adapting, they're not being flexible. So they look at other people who are achieving the things that they want, and they think to themselves, well, they don't deserve that, because I'm the one who's working. I'm the one who's doing it this way. I'm the one who's doing it the way that I was told I was supposed to do it. And then it's not happening. And then they see other people breaking those rules, or they see other people not doing those things, and they say to themselves, they don't deserve it. And they start focusing their energy in resentment. Most of us have been on both ends of this. We've resented others and maybe even tried to sabotage them because we thought that, they don't deserve it, this isn't right. And then we've been on the other side of it where we feel like we don't deserve something that we've gotten. And that's where a lot of times the sabotage comes from. Either way, if you look at what other people have and you think to yourself, well, they don't deserve it, or you resent someone for something they have, not something they did to you. Now, if they did something to you harmful, then it's understandable that you might be resentful. And temporarily, I think that's okay. That's a natural reaction. You want to get over that, of course, because again, that will hold you back. But if you find yourself resenting someone else for what they have or what they've accomplished because you don't feel like they deserve it, even if you're right, that's not going to help you. That will hold you back. That's because you are investing energy into an emotion and into a belief and a direction that has no productivity to it. It doesn't give you what you want. It never will. Now, if you can use that to leverage yourself to change, if you can recognize that you're resenting someone for what they have or what they've done, and you feel that pain, that it doesn't feel good, and you think to yourself, okay, well, I need to do something now. Then you can leverage resentment. It's just like using fear, using anger to leverage it. But keeping it around, holding on to it, it's never going to serve you. It's only going to hold you back. And sticking to those beliefs about what you deserve, what you don't deserve, what other people deserve and don't deserve, if you hold on to that and you don't allow yourself to adapt and be flexible around this, it will always hold you back, because you will only operate within the confines of those limitations. But if you realize that's what's happening, you realize, hey, you know what, I'm not getting what I want. I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. I am doing what people told me this is the way to do things, and it's not working. Then it's time to change. Holding on to that, holding on to those beliefs, those ideas, those limitations for comfort, which is what most people do, is going to be maybe comfortable in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to be very, very uncomfortable, because you're going to go decades and you're going to realize you're no different than where you were. You're still in the same place. You haven't progressed. You haven't fulfilled your potential. Check out where you are right now. Have you been doing the same thing, operating within the same beliefs, within the same limitations for several years now, and not getting anywhere, or moving very, very slow? If that's the case, and one good way to know this is if you find yourself resenting others, the people who don't follow those same beliefs, those same rules, those same limitations that you've imposed on yourself, and they are getting what they want. If you feel resentment about that, this is a clear indication it's time to change. It's time to change your beliefs. It's as simple as just allowing those beliefs and ideas to soften. Let them soften by acknowledging they're not serving you. Doesn't matter if this is what your mom and dad taught you. It doesn't matter if this is what your teachers taught you. If it's not helping you out, it's not serving you, then it's time to let that stuff go and see what other people are doing. The people who are getting what they want, what are they doing? And go take a look at it. Now, if they're scamming people, if they're doing things that are immoral, unethical, then no, of course you don't want to do those things. But those may look like shortcuts to some people, and they may be tempting, but in the long run, those things aren't good. They're not going to work. You're not going to be happy with yourself. Look at the people who are living the lives that they want to live. Look at the people who are getting what they want. Look at the people who are happy, who are successful, and go look at what they do, and stop holding to these ideas of deservingness and resentment. Resentment is just it's a trigger. It's a sign. It's something that should let you know. Anytime you experience it, anytime you look at someone who has something you want and you feel resentment or jealousy or envy, that should be an alarm for you to say, okay, something's not right here. I have something to figure out. So the real key here is intervention. This is the main reason why you do an NLP technique or a process. You want to intervene and stop this program or stop this pattern from happening and put something in its place. So you have to become keenly aware of when you're experiencing resentment, and that just starts with being very honest with yourself. So a lot of times we experience resentment, and if somebody were to ask us, are you resentful of that person because they have whatever it is they have, you'd be like, oh, no, I'm not. Most of us are like that. It's very hard to admit when we're jealous or envious or even resentful. So it takes getting very honest with yourself if you're going to change this. When it happens, you go, oh, I feel it, I know what that is. Now I can do something about it. If you don't know that you're experiencing it and it's unconscious, and for most of us it is unconscious, you can't do an intervention. You can't stop it. You can't change it. You have no choice about it. It just happens. So be aware of it in your body. What does resentment feel like? And then stop it. Say, okay, I know I'm experiencing resentment, so what can I do about this? Go to that resource. What's missing whenever I'm experiencing resentment? Basically, resentment is being way too focused externally, being way too focused on someone else and comparing yourself to them. So get out of that comparison and say, okay, well, I'm not them. I'm not living their life. I'm living my life. And what's missing from me that I'm so focused on them and what they should or should not have? So that's going to be an individual process. You're going to have to find that out for yourself. What is that that's missing? Go inside and ask yourself, what resource is missing here? If I'm experiencing resentment, what do I want to experience instead? Which is something along the lines of abundance. And then ask yourself, what are you not accessing within yourself that is creating the state of resentment? What do you need to plug in What is the internal resource that you can access that you're not accessing? Not the external stuff, but the internal resources that you're not accessing, that if you did, the resentment would go away and you would be back in a state of abundance. That's what's going to serve you most. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. There you'll find some free NLP training as well as some free hypnotic downloads. You can download these directly to your phone, your iPad, or your desktop and get immediate access. And of course, if you like this video, please click like right down here and please subscribe if you haven't already. Take care.